There is no name on this Revolutionary War monument, but there doesn't have to be, because you already know it. We are at the famous Boot Monument at Saratoga National Historical Park. It's a boot, and there's no name on it, but it is a great looking monument. You can see a boot with an epaulette on it and 2 stars on the epaulette, and then topped with laurels. And it's draped over what I thought was a cannon, but what I believe is actually a howitzer. And around the back, let's look for any clues as to who this monument is dedicated to. There's an inscription on the back, and I'll do my best to read it, but it's not easy. What does it say? Erected 1887 by John Watts de Peyster in memory of, and this is the important part, the most brilliant soldier of the Continental Army, who was desperately wounded on this spot, the sallyport of Burgoyne's Great Redoubt, 7th October, 1777, winning for his countrymen the decisive battle of the American Revolution. Any guesses? This monument is dedicated to one of the greatest battlefield generals in the American Revolution and to the most notorious traitor in American history. This monument is in memory of the one, the only Benedict Arnold. Here he is, the man himself, Benedict Arnold. He looks like Russell Crowe, I think. So why a boot? Why a leg on the monument? To answer that, we have to go back in time a little bit, turn the clock back to the fall of 1775. Arnold leads an expedition to attack Quebec. He leads about 1,100 men through the wilderness that is Maine. And the expedition turns into a nightmare fast. Winter sets in, starvation and smallpox ravage the troops. They make it to Quebec. By force of will, Arnold leads these men through the wilderness. They reach Quebec and attack it on New Year's Eve, 1775, in the middle of a blizzard. In the attack, the wind is picking up. In the attack on Quebec, Arnold is shot in the left leg. And the doctor who treated that wound described that the musket ball came through the side of his lower leg and it entered downward at an oblique angle in between the tibia and the fibula, and it lodged just above the Achilles tendon. Ooh, the wind quieted down now. The doctor was able to retrieve the musket ball fairly easily, and though Arnold was laid up for a time, he did recover from that wound very well, and it did not preclude him from any future service. Hi everybody, it's me, Katie. Welcome back to my channel where it is all Revolutionary War all the time. On this channel, we venture out on historical action adventures and we visit the places where events of the American Revolution actually happened. So if that sounds like fun to you, then I hope you'll consider subscribing and coming along. Fast forward to October of 1777, and Arnold's poor left leg receives a second wound here at Saratoga. And amazingly, this is thought to be the approximate location where he was shot. In the final moments of the battle on October 7th, 1777, the second day of the battles of Saratoga, Arnold is shot again in the left leg while trying to breach a fortification called Bryman's Redoubt. And just as American forces succeed in breaching the fortification, Arnold is shot. His horse is also shot and killed right out from under them. And as they crash to the ground, the horse lands on Arnold's leg too. And I don't know what did more damage to his leg, the musket ball smashing through it or the horse crashing down on it. But Arnold's left leg is mangled. He's pulled out from under his horse and is carried off the battlefield. I just want to show you something awesome on this plaque. This is Bryman's Redoubt. It's like a fortification, a wall, or like a barricade that the British were behind. And these two little circles denote these two cannons. So right now, we are within British lines. You can see those posts with the white bottoms and the red tops. That signifies the British lines. So we're within them. And so it would have been somewhere in this area that Arnold was shot as he was leading the charge to overrun this redoubt in the final moments of the final day of the battles of Saratoga. Just take a look around. Happened somewhere right around here. Incredible, isn't it? Wow. In doing some research online, I found a letter that Arnold wrote to Congress from his sickbed in a military hospital in Albany, New York. And I can't even imagine Arnold being laid up in a sickbed. And I just think of what it must have been like for him as he wrote this letter. So I wanted to show you the letter itself. It's dated January 11th, 1778, and it says, "I am so far recovered from my wounds as to be able to sit up. I hope in a few weeks, with the help of a crutch, to hobble out of my chamber." I think he's subtly or not so subtly reminding Congress that it is like 5 months or 4 months, maybe my math is wrong, since he was shot. He is still recuperating. He is still in bad shape. In March of 1778, a couple months later, his wound reopens and shards and splinters of bone are discharged from the wound. Friends that visit him in the hospital report that he is very ill, full of pain, and in low spirits. It is a life-altering injury. Arnold is never the same. He goes on to become military commandant of Philadelphia. He takes command of West Point, and he does some other things as well. If you're enjoying this video and if you're loving the Benedict Arnold content, then I hope you'll consider giving this video a like. Clicking the like button tells YouTube that there is an audience for in-depth, non-AI Revolutionary War content. It really helps the channel. I'm very appreciative of it, and it's also allowing me the opportunity to travel to some of these other Revolutionary War sites that are out of Massachusetts and bring the stories to you. So here we are in upstate New York, and it's not 1775. It's 1777. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed and liked and given super thanks donations. I see it, and I'm very, very grateful for it. Thank you all for being here with me. Now back to the video. In 1780, the terrible truth is revealed. Arnold has turned to the British. He has given up the plans of West Point in exchange for money and a commission in the British Army. The wind is the wind is picking up. It's the spirit of Arnold not wanting us to talk about it. But I wanted to show you, this is a little model of the monument, so you can get a little bit of a closer look. John Watts de Peyster, the man in the 1800s who commissioned this monument, wanted to honor Arnold's contributions to American independence as a general, but without actually naming the man himself. So he chose to immortalize that left leg that had been so terribly wounded in the service of its country, but not Arnold himself. So really quick, I'll just mention the thing I thought was a cannon, it being a howitzer. A howitzer fires like hollow shells filled with gunpowder or explosives of some kind that will explode and like splash fire. A cannon would fire solid shot, solid iron shot, which could be heated to red hot possibly, but a solid ball as opposed to like a hollow shell. And I don't know why a howitzer or a cannon. I don't know of Arnold being associated with howitzers or cannons, so I don't know the answer to that, in case anyone had that question. 285 years after his birth, we are still talking about Benedict Arnold. And I think it's because he was so extreme. He was so extreme in everything he did. His service to his country was so exceptional. Ticonderoga, Quebec, Valcour Island, Saratoga, Ridgefield. And his treachery was so shocking that I think we are still trying to come to terms with him almost 250 years later. At least I am. I hope you are too. And if you are, then I hope you'll subscribe and come along so you don't miss the next video. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.